So real quick, Reach Records did 13 letters when they did expository preaching. And Chrys Centric, you guys have already done Romans 1 and 2, Ephesians, Jude, the book of Jude, a few other joints. Do you plan personally, as Chrys Jones, plan on doing a expository preaching type album?
Man, so I toyed with the idea, and I actually started on something for Galatians.
Really?
But I'm not sure. Not sure, man. I am. So I'm very ADHD in the way I do music. So I'm not sure. But I did start Galatians, so maybe I'll finish it. We'll see.
Well, what's holding you up? What got you uncertain?
Mainly because I've got other ideas, man.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, man. I get sidetracked. And I'm more, man, like my writing process is make a beat that I enjoy and write about whatever comes to mind at that moment. So a lot of times, like that project, I feel like it was hemming me in too much.
Okay.
And I wasn't enjoying the process, so I kind of put it on pause to go do something else.
Okay.
But I would like to do similar to Shy Lynn's, like Lyrical Theology 1.
Okay.
Like something where I'm doing more theological topics.
Okay.
So, but really theological, not as like experiential is what I do. But, obviously I'm still going to have those moments. But I would love to just rap some theology because I enjoy it, man. I enjoy listening to it.
I was going to ask you, what is your favorite style? Are you a theological type cat, or do you just love trap cats when they just rap about whatever's on their mind?
So this is a controversial stance within our world of hip hop, but I like it all. Okay. So I listen to 1K Few. I listen to Shy Lynn.
He's grown on me, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. I know when 1K Few first came out, I bashed him hard. Yeah. But I heard them on some choruses, I'm like, okay. Then I heard one song, I'm like, dude, it's pretty nice, man. So he's growing. I'm not all the way there yet, but he's definitely growing on me, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like that. That's not the stuff I listen to mostly, but like, I like 1K Few, Be Alive dude from Philly. Okay. I like some of these trap dudes just because I like the style. I'm from the South. And, but at the same time, I really like Kurt, how he does the social stuff.
Social awareness,
yeah, I like that stuff, but I really love theology. So, like, at any day, you can put Shy Lynn or Tim Brindle, one of those guys on, Evangel. Give me Evangel all day long, bro. Man, I'm listening. So,
I get made fun of, and I can really care less. Evangel, to me, I call him the GOAT. That's just, I'm talking secular hip hop, Christian, whatever. I can't think of an MC that excites me for the Lord more than Evangel. Yeah. Like, so with that being said, I don't know if you see him like I see him, and that's fine, but how is it working with him? Like, okay, answer that. I got another question. So, how is it working with Evangel?
It's sad working with Evangel because Evangel retired before I got signed to Chrys Centric.
No, but you did a couple of songs though.
Yeah, he still does music, but like
album
wise, like I don't get to collab with Evangel because he's kind of retired. But I got his acapellas, bro. Ooh. Will sends me acapellas, and I'll be over here making beats with Evangel acapellas in the background.
Really?
And so I get to listen to, so I'm hearing his lyrics 100 times,
right?
Because I'm trying to, I'm playing the beat, I'm listening to the stuff. So in that sense, man, like it's crazy. Like being able to revamp Evangel tracks has been amazing. Man, it's been fun.
Boy. Okay, I'm gonna calm down. That's one interview I'll probably never do. Like, never. Like, even if they ask, I'm like, I'm good. The dude is dope, man. He's phenomenal. So who is an MC that you haven't worked with? I know you said real early be dope too, but who haven't you worked with your quote-unquote dream setup? Who would it be?
So,
and why?
Are we talking about rapping or producing?
Ooh. Let's do rapping first.
So, my dream feature with rap would be Shy. Okay. Like I would love to just be able to spit a verse, have the hook, and then bam, Shy just comes in.
Dope.
Because he's my hero as far as CHH. Like Evangel, I consider the GOAT. Swoop, I consider Evangel the GOAT lyricist.
Gotcha.
Swoop has my favorite album of all time, but Shy has my favorite discography. Ooh. So Shy would be that feature that like would be a game changer And then as far as producing would go, I would love to produce like original Evangel material.
Really?
So like, y'all ain't heard it yet. I produced it, Evangel Rap. It was on Chrys' album.
Right.
When the hour draws near, that's the joint. Bro, I heard Evangel, I'm like, who is this dude? Man. That's what it was. I heard it and I was like, man, you know, obviously the content was deep.
Right.
But I was like, this dude's got that like secular boom bap voice, but he's rapping like some deep stuff. And then I remember just kind of hearing him on other stuff little by little, and then once I got in like deep into the Reform stuff, that's when I figured out who he was.
So I picked up, we brought Flame down to Columbus, Georgia for a concert. So I picked him up from the airport, me and my man Jose. So Flame and his wife in the back seat, and he's asking, you know, just shooting a breeze, and he goes like, "Who y'all listen to?" And I didn't want to be disrespectful, but I was like, "Yo, we bump your stuff. Don't get me wrong." But I said, "But this cat here, Evangel," and I played Strip Club off the first album, and he just, you know, was like, "Whoa!" He said, "Wait, I remember this guy." So he told me a story at Fanatics. Was it Part Over Here album release? No, it was the first album. What was Fanatics' first album? Incredible
Walk.
Right. So, because you know he's on R&R.
Yeah.
He said Evangel did a 30-minute freestyle at the album release. He just got up on the mic and just just destroyed it for 30 minutes.
Man.
That was like his first time hearing about that guy. And I just, as he's talking, it was about an hour drive, and I'm just smiling like, yo, I wish I could have been there.
That's crazy.
Would have been dope. He said Evangel just 30 minutes just killed it. He said he was on point the whole time. You know, most guys when they freestyle, they mess up here and there. He said Evangel just murked it the whole time. You know?
I believe it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So, all right, so we got the MC, we got the producer, we got the pastor, or preaching and church planting. What else is there about Chrys Jones we don't know?
I'm also a writer, which I guess y'all probably knew that, but I got a blog, dwellwithchrist.com.
Okay.
So I write blogs. I'd like to write a book someday. That's the other thing, man. I'm a big reader. I love to read books. I love to write.
Chrys Jones is only 24 hours in a day, bro. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Yeah, that's why I don't rap that much.
Okay.
That's why I don't make as many beats, and that's why I don't get to read as many books. Because my family comes, you know, like my family's up there on the priority list. But in an ideal world, I would love to write, like be a writer as well.
Production-wise, are you a sample guy? Because okay, so on Mano, I heard a few samples, but not a whole lot of samples. Your samples seem to grow more as your production, as years go on. So are you a heavy sample guy, or are you more of a original?
Mostly samples, and actually Mano's my most sample-heavy album since I've been signed to Chrys Centric.
Okay.
I've been trying to do some royalty-free stuff, mainly because you know there's artists that won't buy beats with samples in them because they don't want to get sued or whatever.
Right.
But for me personally, samples that's always the foundation of my production. I rarely fully compose a beat, and it's not because I don't like it. You know, I like composing, but there's just something about finding a good sample and chopping it up. You know, that's just the style of hip hop I grew up on. One of my favorite producers is Wes Pendleton.
Oh, Wes.
And even before he was Wes Pendleton, you know, Teddy P. You know, those joints, Ninth Wonder, Jay Dilla, Dipset. Like I've always been a Kanye dude. So samples are that's just it.
So you just did a beat for the I Rap For Real contest, right?
Yeah.
How long that beat take you to make? Because bro, that beat,
man, I don't even remember. That was a joint. That's a beat that me and Kurt worked on together. Like
really?
Kurt said, "Here's the sample.
Okay.
Make this." And you know, so that's how that one came about.
Bro, that beat. When I first heard it, I didn't know it was you.
Okay.
I didn't know who did it. I just knew it was dope. And then I think Kurt, he had said, when did he say? I think when he did it live, when they picked the names from the hat. Oh, no, I don't remember. I don't know where I heard it from. All I know is I heard that Chrys, man, I was like, you kidding me? That is phenomenal. And I don't mean you kidding me like you couldn't do it. I'm just like floored, like how dope it was. So how long did that take?
Like I said, I don't know. That was probably initially like an hour or two.
Okay.
And then, you know, the back and forth with Kurt to make sure it was the way he wanted it. I'd say, you know, 2 to 4 hours of work. something like that.
Wait, okay, so you said before I pulled up you were making beats.
Yeah.
How long does it normally take you to make a beat?
So most of the beats I make take between 30 minutes and an hour to get like most of what you hear. And then there's obviously post-production, there's tweaking the drums, there's adding the cymbals and stuff, but I mean realistically I'm the type of dude like if I hear a sample and there's like a little 4-second snippet, like I'm ready to go. I'm finding the drums, I'm throwing the bass line in, and then then it's just mixing the beat, getting it to sound the way you want it. But I don't spend a lot of time, and this is the same for a lot of producers, man. Like when you're in the zone, you can make 5 or 6 beats in one day.
Really?
Yeah, or 10 beats in one day.
It just seemed more complex that way for me. It seemed more complex for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, I guess it seemed like, yeah.
And it depends too, because some beats, like when you listen to Envy.
Okay.
Envy was a beat. So this is an interesting story. Envy was a beat called Beat 1. Like literally I made it called Beat 1. It was just a sample and drums.
Okay.
I took Beat 1, rapped over it, then I added the bass line you heard, I added new snares, I added new kick, I added all the cymbals you heard, the Rhodes, all that stuff was added after the fact.
Really?
So really Envy was a scaled down beat that was then built upon once I rapped over it. So a lot of times I will spit over something and then like as I'm mixing and mastering the song, like let's add some elements to make it sound better. So those beats take longer because there's a lot more, throw in this Rode, throw in this piano, throw in this different bass line. But a lot of beats, man, like that's a half hour and I'm done.
And you mix and master your own stuff?
Yeah. That's a process, man.
So was that something you taught yourself as well, or did you Googling that, YouTube that, or?
A lot of YouTube, a lot of practice, and then I've actually done some courses, like online courses on how to mix and master hip hop, just to try to get better. And I wouldn't consider myself an expert, but it's good enough that people can enjoy the music.
Is that difficult to mix and master?
It can be, especially when you're doing your own stuff. So Mano, for example, a lot of those songs were like 17 deep, like 17 mixes deep.
Really?
Because I'd mix it, have it the way I thought I wanted it, play it in the car, play it in the headphones, gotta tweak this, gotta tweak that, and what ends up happening is you mess something up, you overdo it, then you gotta just start over.
Okay.
So a lot of what I've been doing is just using, like, basically I get it the way I want it, and then I don't mess with it for a while.
Okay.
Send it to other people, what do y'all think? And then once I listen to it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then I go back and tweak stuff and then I master it.
Really?
So I've taught myself, like, you just can't mess with stuff too much or it won't sound good.
Right.
So, but it's complex. That's the most time consuming part of the job, and it's the part I hate.
Really? Wait, I haven't even asked you yet. Is this your full time or do you have an actual job?
Oh, I have a full-time job, so I'm a health coach.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm a full-time health coach.
What is a health coach?
I work a 9 to 5. So basically, I work for a company called Wild Health. Basically, you do a genetic test, you do blood work, we put it into our system, generate a report, and then we walk you through that report, me and a doctor. And then we have, like, after that, I do coaching calls with people to, like, make sure your diet's on point, make sure your exercise is good, how are you sleeping, how you dealing with stress. If you're a Christian, we can do spiritual stuff. I mean, it's basically just making sure people are making healthy decisions. So that's a fun job. It's interesting for sure.
Bro, you work a 9 to 5, rap full time, produce full time, family full time, and get ready to plan a church full time.
Yeah. Okay. And I wouldn't say that I rap full time. If you ask Will and them, I don't rap enough.
That seems to be an ongoing thing with Chrys Centric. Because I remember Zay was telling me about the same thing with him. Like, he said, I'm lazy, so it's hard to get him in the booth.
Yeah.
Are you the same way?
I'm not lazy. It's like, for me, I wish I could be in the booth more, but like, when I had one kid, I could get up and just kill it. I could stay up till 2 in the morning, work on stuff, sleep in until 8 or 9. But now that I got 4, it's Russian roulette. Who's gonna wake up in the middle of the night? Who's up at 6 a.m.? So I have to prioritize sleep, or else I'm gonna be a monster. And then I just like, I can't just put my kids off on my wife for 8 hours every weekend while I work on music.
That's dope.
That's been the biggest challenge, man. Like, is Christ-centric, you know, are they getting the most value out of me? But at the same time, they respect the way I live. You know, they respect the godliness and the pursuit of like being a godly father, being a pastor. Like they engage that and they like that. You know,
it would seem as if Will would actually shun or be upset if by chance you switched roles, if you neglected your home, neglected your working, your family. I was more focused on Christ-centric record as opposed to your family. Last question. So you said early on in this conversation about your dad being DJ and music. How does he feel about your music?
Man, he likes it.
Really?
He doesn't listen to a lot of hip hop these days, but man, when I first got into Christian hip hop, he would DJ my concerts. So he would actually cue up the music. He would help me set the mics up. He'd run my merchandise table. So that was really cool, man.
That is dope, man. I love hearing that, man.
Yeah, it's dope.
Praise God. Well, y'all, man, my guy, Chrys Jones, I promise you, man, there's so many questions I want to ask you, but I don't want to run this for too long. But, man, it is definitely an honor, man, to sit here with you. I said it before, I said it again. You are phenomenal. The Lord has blessed you, man. With Evangel retiring, Christ-centric is in great hands with you and Strat. It's what, you, Strat, and who else is in there?
Jose.
Yeah, so you, Strat, and Zay.
And Will, he's rapping a little bit now.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. But that's my guy. I love Will. But Christ-centric is in great hands, man. It is always a blessing, man, to hear from you guys, man. You guys always keep it Christ-centered. You always boast on the Lord. I've never heard a verse from any one of y'all that's ever been boastful upon who you are, or even boastful on your style. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the closest to it was Evangel said on, was it Nocturnal? He said, he brought up the iPhone watch look line, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But he says, but then right after that, he brings up how the glory of God is doper than any, I messed it up, but basically he dropped a dope line, right? And then he repeated it and explained what the dope line was referring to. But then right after that, he said, but the glory of God is doper than, or is deeper than any dope line, basically. Yeah. Does that make sense? I messed the whole line up, but you get my point though. That was the closest to it, and I've always been glorifying the Lord about that, how you guys keep it about Christ, and the Lord has blessed y'all with the gifts and the talents to make it sound phenomenal. So I appreciate you, man. I praise God for you, and please keep doing what you're doing. Keep posting what you're doing. It's your boy Los, man, Chrys Jones, man. We out, y'all.
Yeah.